Welcome to our podcast every week now after 1 p.m. I'm AJ.
And I'm Sahara, and we're here to change the world one conversation at a time.
Today we're going to be talking about winning the lottery. What would you
Oh,
do? And honestly, it's going to be more about financial literacy and planning for your future.
all right, all right. But before we get into that, I just want to invite you to smash that like button, hit the subscribe, make sure that you get notified each time we got a new episode. So AJ, what would you do if you won the lottery?
There's so many things that come to mind, but honestly, I would try to be as responsible as I could with it. I would set up trusts for nieces, nephews, family, that basically would provide for their future as well. Because, I mean, you're talking generational wealth at that point. And after I had done all of that, I would probably, pay off my house, make sure I'm completely out of debt, set myself up with investments for the future. And then anything that's really left after that, I would like to do something good for my community. And you know, I've always had this idea of just buying a plot of land and opening up like a tiny home community for the homeless people.
Okay, all right.
And, instead of sending them to shelters where they've got to share a room with 20 people, giving them their own home and being like, you guys are part of this community. It's going to be a communal living type of thing where you're going to have your own house, but there'll be like a kitchen set up where they can go to 24/7 and, basically have their needs taken care of, but still have a roof over their head that's going to be safe throughout all types of weather. What would you do?
We've gotten so old. We would do such responsible things with the lottery.
I know.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
if you would have asked me 20 years ago, it would have been like I'd buy 7,000 guitars. I would buy myself 7 new drum sets. I'd have a mansion. I don't need all of that. Come on.
No, I think I've grown so much in those areas of what do I really want? And if I were to win the lottery like tomorrow, yeah, I'd be quiet about it for a minute, but I would do some big life-changing things too. I think I would. I'd
Yeah.
set up, like you said, the trusts and um I really never cared to own too much of anything until like at
Hmm.
some point in my 20s I thought, well, maybe a forest. So I've always said I'd love to own a forest for preservation reasons,
Right.
especially these days. And I have some nonprofit or rehab ideas, long-term rehab I'd like to start, those kinds of things. Definitely. But yeah, I see the value in generational wealth at this point
Yeah.
and setting up my family, myself, the
Hmm.
future that hasn't come yet for success, for success.
Yeah.
Like, making health accounts through this trust that are just always going so then you don't have to work for health insurance. I've seen people work their whole lives to keep their health insurance to keep going.
Right. Right.
I don't want that for me. I don't want that for my future. I don't want that for my loved ones and my family. Yeah, I think though, I mean, I might go buy a coffee first. Go buy an iced coffee. Um, I would love to travel. I would really like to travel,
That's
definitely.
fair.
Um, but I think, yeah, my biggest dream is to own a forest and to start a rehab facility, long-term rehab facility.
Yeah.
Um, and I have it all thought out, kind of in different stages, but yeah.
I know a couple people actually personally that have won the lottery. One of them won like 111 billion or $1 million, and one of them won like $2 million, and the one that won $2 million still has money, and the one that won 111 is broke.
Wow.
And that happens a lot, especially when you're coming from a place where you didn't really grow up or have a lot of money growing up, or even as an adult weren't making a lot of money growing up, and then all of a sudden you've got this huge pile of cash,
Oh
and you're
yeah.
like, I'm going to get everything that I want, and the world be damned, and I'm gonna provide for myself what I couldn't provide or be provided for growing up.
Oh
And
yeah.
that happens a lot with people that win the lottery. And you know the ones that won the 2 million, they have worked hard all their lives. They continued to work after they won the lottery.
Oh,
They
okay.
bought a house. They had always rented
Mm-hmm.
and raised their family, and always rented and moved around a lot, and it was a struggle, but they worked hard their entire lives and continued to work after they won the lottery, because they knew that if they didn't do that, the money was going to run out eventually. So the
Oh,
first thing they did was they bought a house, they set up trusts,
yeah.
they invested the rest in their future. Um, they basically set up an account to where they didn't have to worry about paying the mortgage. It was just automatically taken out. So instead of paying out outright cash for it, they decided, okay, we're going to build our credit,
Oh,
and we'll
okay.
go ahead and just put all of the money that we have for the house into this account,
Yeah.
and we'll just let the mortgage company draw from that every month, and just put it on like a
Auto.
auto pay system, and they don't have to
Yeah.
worry about it, you
Yeah.
know? And I mean, to me, that was a very smart decision.
Oh,
Um,
definitely.
I remember hearing a story. It was right after one of the hurricanes hit the down south in the Florida, Georgia area.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there was a huge like Powerball or Mega Millions jackpot that was won, and it was like $1.6 billion. And
Wow. Okay.
at the time, it was like a record high, and one person won it from that area. Now, if it were me and I won that kind of money, I'd be like, "Here, neighbor, you need a new house.
Oh,
Let me help
yeah.
you out."
Yeah, yeah.
Um, they packed up all of their stuff and they moved out of the country.
Oh, not even just out of the county or the state, out of the
Didn't
country.
didn't do anything to help their community or anything. I mean, I don't know their personal situation. Maybe they hated their neighbors. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But but even if I hated my neighbors, I wouldn't want to see somebody completely devastated by their, home being lost if I had that kind of money to help out. But
Yeah,
that's just
no.
me.
No, I can't imagine not wanting to do something for my community in some way.
Right.
Without money, I do for my community. With
Exactly.
money, how much more could I do? How much
Exactly.
more could we do? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah, looking back and seeing. So it is financial intelligence or literacy is really important.
It
And
really is.
we don't always think about these things. My
Mm-hmm.
grandma recently just bought a new car.
Right.
And she was able to just buy that thing outright because when they paid off the last one, she never quit making her car payment to herself.
Okay.
And she put it in the savings account and she said, well, eventually I'm going to need a new car.
Right. That's smart.
Reality is what it is. Eventually I'm going to need a new car. So
I'm
she
used to not having this money anyway, so why don't I just put it in the bank and forget about it?
continued to do that. And
Yeah.
then so when the time came, they had the cash to buy it outright. No
Mm-hmm.
car payment still, full under warranty. Girl was like, I'm not going to have to worry about this car, get another one for the rest of my life.
Right.
She's 92, but um,
Right.
they've been saving for a long time. The other
Mm-hmm.
car was 25, they had paid it off quite a while ago.
Right.
So they just continue to do that. And I watch her intelligence in the ways that she is very frugal. And
Mm-hmm.
in her frugal, she is able to be very luxurious
Yeah.
because of
I
the things, the day to day.
Yeah. I mean, I grew up and my grandparents were always like, my grandmother's brother was a heavily into stockbroking, and would always tell her, "Oh, this is going to be a great stock. You might want to buy in." And eventually she finally did. And
Okay.
they never got to the point of being like billionaires or anything, but they were well off
Yeah.
and they handled their money quite well. Um, I kind of always scoffed at the idea because everything I'd ever heard about with stocks was it's volatile, you can lose all your money in a day. Well, not if you spread it out.
Yeah.
You don't put all your money into one stock because if that
Yeah.
one stock tanks, you're screwed. You know, a lot of people lost a lot of money during right after 9/11
Yes.
because the stock market just crashed after that.
Yeah. Yeah. They really did. Yeah.
You know, but I mean, so there is a risk with that, but there's also a reward, especially if you can spread it out amongst several different stocks. That one might go down, but the other one might go skyrocketing, and then and my current financial advisor has told me many many times that when you're playing the stock market, you it's not a matter of a quick buy, quick sell. It's a matter of staying in as long as you possibly can.
Okay.
Because while it might go down, it's going to go up, and then if those stocks split, basically your entire let's say you have 1,000 shares of I don't know Chevron.
Okay.
Um, if those stocks split, you now have 2,000 shares of Chevron.
Oh, okay. And what would cause
The
them
price
to
the price
split?
is the price gets cut in half to make it cheaper for people to buy stocks for them,
Okay.
but they double your shares. So when it goes back up, you've got double the amount going up.
Okay. Yep.
So the longer you stay in the stock market, the better off you're going to be in the end. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you can draw off of dividends. If you really need to, you can dip into it and sell some of the shares or whatever. But it's honestly a great way to invest your money that is got the potential to grow rather quickly.
Definitely, definitely. I think if you have some money that you can earmark for it as well, then you're not so
Hmm.
stressed about it. Because, okay, I've taken care of this and this and this. And every month, like you were talking about the mortgage going on auto pay, your
Hmm.
paycheck comes in and you have it automatically going into these different accounts for different things. Then you know
Right.
you have that money that you can play with and it can grow or go, and you
Hmm.
haven't lost your necessity for living day to day. It's
Yeah.
not as stressful that way, I would think too.
I also know a lot of people that honestly live paycheck to paycheck, but not because of the need to live paycheck to paycheck, but the fact that let's say there's I don't know, a new video game coming out that you really, really want, but you've also got to pay your electric bill.
Mm-hmm.
And you're working a 9 to 5 job, you might be making a little bit more than minimum wage, and you know that you're going to have enough money for one or the other, but not both. Far too often, people are going for their wants before their needs.
Oh
So they
yeah.
have this video game, but their electricity gets shut off, so they can't play it.
Yeah, I've seen that happen. Definitely.
It's people need to realize that your wants are what you get with the leftover money after you pay your needs. Keep yourself out of debt, pay your bills, pay your mortgage, pay your electricity, pay your gas, whatever, fuel, groceries. Those are things you need. And
Yeah.
then anything you have left over there, you can either invest, save, spend on whatever you want. That's your
Yeah.
money to play with. But for the love of God, take care of yourself and your family first because all those wants are still going to be there when you can't afford them.
Yeah.
Where, what are you going to do with no lights? What are you going to do with no food?
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Like we have these needs. Being financially responsible has a lot to do with also being emotionally responsible and having
Yes.
a level of emotional intelligence to be able to put off the instant gratification to say,
Right.
okay, I have to make this choice over that choice at this point, or I have
Mm-hmm.
to save to attain to my goals.
Yeah.
Definitely. I understand. It's not always easy. I was a single mom when my kids were growing up. I was really thankful to have some state assistance. It helped a lot. and I
Mhm.
had part-time jobs I could do with the kids coming with me or just small amounts of childcare.
Mhm.
Because we'll talk about it. I was a homeschool mom also. But there were times I
Right.
had a hard time. Like I was on the floor, like, how are we going to get the electric bill paid this month? I haven't gotten
Mhm.
that side gig I usually get that pays my electric bill yet. Is it going to come? What's going to go on?
Right.
I cleaned a condo and
Mhm.
for a publishing house. And so sometimes not as many authors would stay or this or that. So I would always try to make sure I had that cushion where I wasn't stressing, but I certainly was
Yeah.
going out and buying like every now and then I go buy a $3 or $4 bottle of wine and it had to last me the whole month because that was my big
Right.
splurge, right? That was
Yeah.
okay. Something had to give a little bit somewhere.
Yeah.
So
I
there
hear
are
you.
those times when you do have to say, okay, yeah, I can do a little bit for myself
Right.
beyond my own needs, but you have to really be wise about it. I could have gone out and got a 25, bottle of wine every week, but then had no
Right.
electricity.
Exactly.
Yeah, and
You know,
yeah,
like when I was still working a dead end job that paid me a little bit more than minimum wage, I was barely making ends meet. I would pay my rent, I would pay my utilities, and I'd have $30 to last me for 2 weeks.
yeah,
And
oh,
that was to buy my groceries. That was to, I don't drive, so it paid my bus fare to get back and forth to work.
oh yeah.
They didn't have Uber back then. I mean, really dating myself now, but um,
That would have been
but
some.
like,
They'd had
it was
taxis
either
though.
you take a taxi that's $10 or you take a bus that's 50 cents. So,
Exactly.
that was my money to live on for the next 2 weeks. And then the next 2 weeks would roll around, pay the rest of the bills, and then I basically had set up because at the time I didn't have a bank account. I didn't have the credit enough credit to get a bank account
Okay. Yeah.
at the time. So my bank was my cash box in my kitchen.
Hmm.
And I just had a locked cash box. And inside that locked cash box, I had envelopes
Oh yeah.
labeled rent, utilities, grocery money, um, savings. And I'd put aside extra money for savings, just in case something major came up and I needed to pay for it.
Yeah.
Um, whether it be a vet bill or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, and then I would set all that aside, and then it would be like, okay, this is what I have left, and that's what went in my wallet, and that's what I had for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It was a struggle, but I did some crazy things because I am a workaholic, and I do not recommend this for anybody because it was absolutely insane. But there was at one point that I was working three full-time jobs and one part-time job, and getting about 2 hours of sleep a day,
Mm. Yeah, that's
and living
not
like that
sustainable.
for not it was not sustainable. I lived like that for probably 6 months before it just absolutely like
Yeah.
I was like going insane. And I was like, something's gotta give here. Yeah, I'm making a lot of money, but in the same breath, I'm have no life whatsoever. I am constantly on the go. I am not getting any sleep. It's detrimental to my health at this point. And once you get sick and you've got four jobs, you're not calling off to just one. You're losing the income from all of them.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, something had to give at that point. But while the money was great, yeah, it wasn't sustainable.
No, it wouldn't be. No. It's interesting the things we do and we go through to get money. I mean, it is. It's really interesting. It's crazy how that is our huge dream, though, is to win the lottery. Like,
Yeah.
money is such a big focus in our lives and how much we really will do,
Hmm.
you know, to go through the hoops to
Right.
get, but that's kind of what it takes.
Yeah.
And I think with the growing of the internet, there is, besides stock markets now, like this passive income that can be made.
Oh yeah, definitely.
There's so many different things that you can go and do just and even passive income on the internet isn't passive.
Right.
But I mean, there's so many more opportunities to make side hustle income, I guess, in
Right.
different ways than when we were a bit younger, which is
Yeah.
really neat and really interesting. A lot of fun. A lot of
Yeah.
fun. I really like what you um do with your art and your
Yeah.
whole website and the clothing design and what a
Yeah.
freedom that is. That's pretty cool.
It is and it isn't because honestly, that's the side business from the actual games, and I work my ass off for that game company. I
Yeah.
mean, I will work 20-hour days, 7 days a week if I have to, just to get things done, especially when we've got like new projects or we're coming up with new game ideas or whatever. I work my butt off for that, but it's worth it because one thing, I'm passionate about it, and second, like it's not work to me. I love it, you
Oh
know?
yeah, yeah. That's true. Your main thing is the gaming. I do know that.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm not a
I
big
mean,
gamer.
we do our store for the passive income, not only for us but for our also our employees because our employees can put their stuff up there too, and if any of their stuff sells, they get a commission off of it, and they
Yeah,
get to pick their commissions. So I mean, they do all of their pricing and everything. So they just tell me, "Hey, I want this on a T-shirt. Can you make it happen?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, no problem," and and then I put them up for them. I'll process any orders that come through, and they get income for that. And it is a passive income in that respect because it isn't so much a daily paycheck or a weekly paycheck or whatever. But
exactly. Something that
but
happens when you're sleeping.
exactly, it's more of a passive income when it's say like a digital product
Mm-hmm.
when well like our games we put them
Yeah.
out on the different platforms, people buy them, we make money.
Yeah.
People don't buy them, we don't make any money.
Yeah. Yeah.
um or when it comes to the ad revenue, same thing, but the ad revenue is so volatile, it fluctuates. You could make 50 cents off of an ad in one day and the next day make $5.
That's
It just
crazy.
depends on how much it's worth every day. It's a complicated system and way too much to get into today, but
Well, yeah, the geez, I didn't even realize that about the ad system.
yeah.
No,
A
that's
lot of the
crazy.
mobile market is a passive income in that respect, but it fluctuates so much. You're not guaranteed. For one thing, you can't make people watch ads.
No.
You can't make people download your games. You can't make people play your games, whatever. But you only get paid if they watch the full ad, which a lot of people will not sit through a full ad unless they're getting rewarded for it.
Mm.
So right there, you're not getting money unless they're watching the full ad, and you'll get a fraction of the price if they watch some of the ad, but
All
not what you
right.
would if they watched the full thing. So it's a
Yeah.
very complicated and long-winded system, but yeah, I mean there's a passive income there, but it's not a guaranteed paycheck every week.
No. But I mean, to be doing and developing what is your passion with games, I mean, how much more
Yeah,
could you have? That's pretty cool. That's like
yeah,
winning the lottery right there,
it
you
really
know.
is. It's been a true blessing ever since I started this company, just for the simple fact that I am doing what I love and I get to do it every single day of my life, and I don't see myself at this point ever wanting to retire from it because why would I want to give up doing something I love?
I understand that. When I was in first grade, you may remember I decided I was going to be a kindergarten teacher.
Yeah.
But I homeschooled for 12 years.
Hmm.
And since that time, I realized I got to do what I always wanted to do with
Yeah.
my life already,
Yeah.
like and with my own kids.
Yeah.
And so I've already done it.
Right.
Like everything for me at this point is bonus, and it's like discovering what else do I want to do? What else can I find passion in life
Right.
beyond a career? And yeah, I mean, for me, it's now getting to be with my family, my kids all grown up, my
Hmm.
grandbabies, and homeschooling him, and it's
Right.
a lot of fun. and go off and do other things and figure out, what else do I want to do? I think that's, yeah, the thought that you said we're talking about earlier about like 20 years ago, I would have gotten this with the lottery and that with the
Right.
lottery. Like in the last 20 years, those things that I value has changed so much. And I think
Right.
that's why our thoughts are so different about what we would do with the lottery because
Hmm.
we would do things that just bring so much more value to the things we already value.
Exactly.
Where before, like, yeah, no, your guitars and your drum sets and whatever I would have gotten 20 years ago, who knows?
Right.
Oh, my guilty pleasure that I would probably like a 1948 Studebaker truck, or I saw
Hmm.
this one tow truck that had to be older than that one. So, like an old truck. That would
Hmm.
be my, yeah, you didn't need to buy that kind of purchase. But, I just love the maturity
Yeah.
that comes with just experience of life.
Yeah. And the other
And
thing I would do with it too that I didn't mention earlier is I would invest in my business as
mm,
well. Just making it bigger, making it so I could afford to make these really large scale games that I've always dreamed of making that I can't with such a small crew.
oh yeah, yeah,
Having the ability to just have the extra money to
invest in
hire on
yourself.
as many people as I would need to make one of those big games and make it in a timely manner where it's not going to take 15 years to make,
Oh yeah.
you
Oh
know,
yeah. That would be really cool. Yeah. I think that's what it comes down to is investing in our family, in ourselves, in our community, and just being
yeah,
really wise with the money.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, I think that's I dream about it. I will say it. I dream about winning the lottery. I don't play the lottery, but I dream about it.
I think we're all guilty of just that what if scenario.
Oh yeah, there's a million dollar campground I've
Everybody that
been
knows
looking
what
at.
the lottery is has dreamt about it and thought about what exactly would I do.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's just I think we're finally at the age where responsibility has taken over
Yeah.
and the just the emotional and financial maturity we have now compared to what we were 20 years ago. you know we'd both be completely broke by now had we won the lottery in our 20s. I guarantee you that.
Okay, all right, that
We would
might
not
be
have been
true.
smart about it. Yeah, our families would probably be, well taken care of and everything, but we'd be broke. you know
Probably, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm dreaming about, yeah, that campground. It's like $1 million campground if I won the lottery. It would definitely be part of a rehab, but it's been an intriguing, interesting experience to see where we're at today, in
Yeah,
this talk,
definitely.
Um, maybe we'll win the lottery. I guess we got to play.
Yeah, I guess so.
Tune in next week though and see if we won the lottery between here and there.
What's the score,
But
guys?
don't forget, follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We have a Patreon if you're interested. Um, you got some ideas about what you might do with the lottery you want to share with us? Go ahead and feel free to email us at every week now after 1 p.m. at gmail.com. Um, I don't know. You have anything else to add, AJ?
No, just say join us next week. We'll
All
be
right,
back with
join us
another
next week.
episode
Thank you
every
for
week now
joining
after
us.
1 p.m.
Have a great day, everyone.
Bye, guys.
See you next week.
And every week now, after 1 p.m., Sahara and AJ bringing it again, jacking it up with a mission so clear, changing the world.